Jamie, here at the VIP Gym, something I wanted to ask you about. You're quite well known as believing in the philosophy of the law of attraction, which is perhaps most famously laid out in the book The Secret.
Yeah. Just
for people that haven't read it, give us a brief kind of synopsis of what it's all about.
So you put me on the spot here now. So basically, I read The Secret just after I retired, and it's about positive thinking, having the right sort of mindset. And I was open-minded and I just thought I'll read it and see how it goes. And I remember when I very first read it, and I just remember thinking, you know what, even if what they're telling you isn't actually true, it just makes you more positive and in a better frame of mind anyway. So I just went along with it, and then, do you know what, good things started to happen. And then when I sort of went off that sort of way, thinking not so great things had happened, and then I'd bring it back and start thinking, right, come on now, think positive. And it's basically talking about what your thoughts become things. So whatever your predominant thoughts are, you'll bring into your life, and that's basically what's happened to me. And I've had some bad things go on in the past, but I tell you one thing actually, bad things don't necessarily mean that a bad things happen. Sometimes it's making something better come along. And Tommy Coyle sent me a thing years ago about connecting the dots backwards, and it's Steve Jobs doing a speech at Harvard University, and he's talking about how he got to where he got to. And he dropped out of college, and he never thought he was going to get anywhere, but he dropped into this certain class, and if it was only 10 years later they designed a computer program, and the only reason he was able to do it, or he had the thought about doing it, was because he dropped into the class what he went into. And he said, I never realised why I wanted to do that. I just had a feeling. I followed my intuition, and then 10 years later it all made sense. I could never have connected the dots going forwards. I could only connect them going backwards. So when I got to the point where I turned around. And when I think about it, the stuff what's happened to me over the last sort of 5 years, the bad things were bad. But then when I look backwards now, the stuff what happened later on and the good things what happened to me now would never have happened if that stuff didn't happen. So and it all sort of ties in with what you talk about with the secret and stuff like that. So listen, whether it works or not, I'm positive. I'm always outgoing. I do a lot to help other people without sort of putting out there to everyone, but I don't care because it makes me feel good. And if I feel good, then the way I think about things, then good things will come. So.
You talked about some of the bad things that have happened to you. Obviously, one of the worst was the shooting incident where you were shot out in Spain, case of mistaken identity, as we later found out. Did The Secret and the law of attraction play into that at all in terms of helping you retain a positive mindset?
Absolutely, because I was laying, funny story actually, I was laying the bed in hospital in Marbella, and my mum and dad and my wife were there, and my wife was upset, crying, saying, why has this happened? And I said to her, do you know what, I'm telling you now, something good will come from this. So she went ballistic, saying,
I can imagine.
Why, how can you say that? And I said, I don't know why, but I've just got this feeling that something good's going to come from it. And there you go, Steve Jobs, this gut instinct, and follow your instincts. And I really don't know why, but then when I think about some of the stuff that's happened since and the people I've met since because of stuff, then a lot of the situations what I'm in now wouldn't have happened if that didn't take place. So, it was a horrible, horrendous thing to have happened, and I won't wish it on anyone. My kids went through a horrible time, but we've come through the other side, and life's good.
You mentioned your family there. Are they all on board with the same philosophy as you, or have you had to kind of convert some doubters there?
My family, my wife's always glass half empty, so I've had to convert her. But just to be fair, she's doing really well. I'm really proud of her. That sounds really patronising, but I am. She's doing really good.
She won't watch this.
She's getting there. She's coming around to my. She's coming around to my way of thinking. And you know what? It's easy with kids because it's just about putting it across them in the right way. I don't try and preach to them or profess anything. I just say, just think good. Be positive in your mind and make sure you believe that you're going to do something, and you can do anything, and it's true, and it's got it. You go back in history about people just being positive, and the people who've preached and teach people over the years, that's all they've done. And I remember when I fought Michael Jones for the British title, I just had this idea in my head about 3 weeks out, and I said to Oliver in the gym, do you know what, that Paul Samuels, he's always injured him. I bet he pulls out injured. He said, do you think? I said, yeah. I said, and if he does, I'll step in, I'll take that fight, you know. Now that was 3 weeks before, and I just kept thinking, God, I hope he pulls out. And then on the Monday before the fight on the Saturday, my phone rang, and it was Steve Wood, and he said, let me put this to you and see what you think. And I said, Samuels is out, innit? And he went, who's told you? I went, I fucking knew it. I knew he was going to pull out. So he said, what do you think? I went, 100%. And I rang Colleen and said, guess what, I'm fighting for the British title on Saturday. And she went, you are joking. I said, no. She went, how much are you getting paid? Typical woman, do you know what I mean? I said, I don't know. I'd not even asked a question, because all I was concerned about was the British title.
But that's another example of connecting the dots in reverse, isn't it? Because you hadn't even read the book.
I'd never even read the book, but when I first started reading The Secret, it says, think about times in your life when good things have happened and think about your mindset. And that was the first scenario I thought of. So, listen, whether it's true or not, my life is better because my mindset's different.
Do you feel you have to keep saying that, whether it's true or not, to kind of justify it? Because there's a lot of doubters.
I'm not one of these people who, for instance, religion. If I was religious, I wouldn't be the sort of person who goes to you, come to church with me on Sunday. I don't ram it down people's throats, because I'm very happy with my life and the way things are going. And I'll help other people as much as I can, but I won't try and drum it down people's throats, because I think it sends them the other way.
You kind of do it by example, though, don't you, anyway? Because people see what's happening to you.
People see, yeah, so exactly. So I'd rather people be intrigued by it and ask me, like you've done today, rather than me go around trying to drum it down people's throats. But like I say, you know, mental health's a big issue recently. You know, I've been talking about it today about kids, about them being under so much pressure in school. My daughter's doing her SATs at the minute, and you know, she's 10, 11 years old. She shouldn't be under that sort of pressure. So mental health's a big thing, and that book or that way of sort of thinking puts you in a better mindset all the time. So even if that's all it does, it's worth doing.